Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Markets to Watch from Smack the Markets for week commencing the 19th of April. So as we start the new week, we've got a very light news schedule, so not a great deal on the data slate to help give the markets any direction, so they're pretty much going to be left open to find their own way. Having said that, we're in an environment at the moment where the US equity markets again hit all-time highs several times last week, so we've got extremely bullish equity markets. A lot of pressure on the US dollar as that's continuing to decline, and of course one of the benefits of that US dollar weakness has been that the precious metal markets have been fairly buoyant, and again looking fairly buoyant coming into the beginning of this week. So let's take a look at a few markets here that we're keeping an eye on and some of the opportunities that we may well focus on this week. So if we come over to the equity markets here, first of all, this is the Dow futures contract. Again, we can see these markets pushing on to all-time highs, hitting all-time highs on Friday. And again, it's very much, these markets are in clear space. There doesn't look at this moment in time to be sort of any reason to fight the trend. So it's all about where do you get sort of positioned. And for us, what we look for is pullbacks into the value areas, pullbacks into support and resistance, and those are the sort of structure points that we start to look for buying opportunities. So again, looking at the 4-hour time frame here, got a very consistent sort of trend forming here. You can see that each time the markets come into sort of moving average zones, it's an area where the markets start to find support and the upward trend continues. So we'll still continue this theme, I think, until these trends start to show signs of weakness and start to show signs of reversal. For us, I think it's very much a case of intraday trading on these equity markets. From a swing perspective, these higher time frames do look a little bit stretched no matter which market you take a look at. This is the S&P 500 futures. Again, the market structure and the geometry on these sort of mid to lower time frames looking extremely nice, and again the path of least resistance looks clearly to be to the long side. If we come over to the gold and metal markets, again we can see these have now sort of broken out above significant levels that we were looking at last week. So gold is now above our 1750 level, which is the structure point here on the daily time frame. We're looking for the initial move up to 1800, and you can see that the markets are about 2/3 of the way there now. So there's still some distance to go in gold before it hits significant resistance and that decision point. So again, coming down to the lower time frames, again we're just looking for pullbacks into value areas and targeting that 1800 in the near term. If we come over to silver, silver was a market that we got positioned in last week, and we had some nice trades in silver. This market again continued to looking quite nice. Again, it's actually broken out of the $26 level here, and this $26 level here on the daily time frame, again opening up a trading window up here to around that sort of $28 price point. Trend structure started to turn around now. We've got higher highs, higher lows. We've got convergence on our momentum bars. So again, mid to lower time frames I think is where the trend structures are looking the cleanest. And again, looking at 2630 as the near term. This was the target level that we had on our trades last week. So we got the move, then the market moved a little bit above 2630, then we got the retracement, and now the market's continuing on again. So again, in the context of trends, we're looking at resistance levels, decision points at 2630, 2670, and then up towards 200. Ultimate target area up here to $28 level. If we come over to the currency markets now, again looking at the obvious ones would be dollar weakness. So dollar related, the major currencies, basically the dollar related ones are certainly ones to keep an eye on, and those are certainly moving very nicely at the moment. Others that we might keep an eye on here is some of these Great British Pound markets, particularly the Great British Pound against the yen and the Swissy. So sterling, again, a little bit mixed early trade this morning, but if you take a look at this on the higher time frames, this is what I'm looking at. If you take a look at Great British Pound against the yen. Sterling has been particularly strong since the beginning of the year, in fact since before the beginning of the year, and Great British Pound has been inherently strong. We've had a little bit of weakness over the past week or so, and that's actually pulled the market back into value areas. So pound yen at the moment is sitting in a very significant level in at 150, which is a significant price point for this market. And again, last week's candle here you can see was a nice sort of bullish, small bullish exhaustion candle, and again we're sort of sitting at this moment an inside candle. Now if we get a breakout above this, then we could be looking for the sort of first area here, which is around the 153.20 area, and then on to around the 155, which is the sort of completion of that sort of trading window. Again, if you take a look at these on the lower time frames, like the daily time frame and the 4-hour time frame, you just got nice consolidations into that sort of 150 price point, and the current sort of price action at the moment indicating that the market is likely to break out one way or the other. The lower end of this range clearly finding support, and those higher time frames are in firm long trends at the moment. So again, our preference here is a breakout above the highs and a breakout to the long side. Again, Great British Pound against the Swissy is looking extremely similar as well. So you take a look at this on the weekly time frame, we can see we've got the pullback, last week's candle, a nice sort of bullish exhaustion candle forming there. Again, it's back into the moving average zone here, back into the fair value zone. And again, looking for, well, the trend to continue, we'd probably be looking for at least a move up to 130 or above 130, and then possibly into that sort of just shy of that 135 area. So that's 134.200 to the long side. Taking a look at these on the lower time frames, we come down to the 4-hour time frame, for example. You can see that we've got this sort of consolidation forming here, where we've got the market testing the lows 3 times around 126.50. We'll mark that in here. And again, you've got the highs here of the consolidation, where we've now been testing at 127.50 a good 3 times. So it may take a bit for these markets to break out, but any strength in Great British Pound going forward this week, I think we could start to see the continuation of some of these moves. So there's a few markets there that we're keeping a close eye on going into the beginning of this week. I certainly hope it helps, and look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.